Blitzkrieg comes in and says he wins one as a player, then coaches the Jets to victory. He can be bigger than Broadway Joe. Let's go downtown Aaron. So I think that the future of Aaron Rodgers could look really cool. When you're talking about legacy, like that's where Rodgers is at this point. You're talking, okay, where could he go, win another ring, and it would be more than just a winning Super Bowl. Like if he goes to any other city in the country, he's probably, if he wins a ring, it's just, okay, he's got a second ring. If he wins one in New York, it's going to carry more weight. Now, what could carry more weight outside of that? Like that's still the goal. That's still what he wants to do. But beyond that, we never got to see Brady like coach up other guys. Like you had Garoppolo and Brissett sitting behind him, Castle for a little bit. I don't know how much of that was coaching and how much of that was like Brady grooming him, but Zach Wilson was very clearly a bust through 2 years. And Aaron Rodgers comes over, and all of a sudden, Zach Wilson in this new look offense with Hackett and Rodgers in the building seems to have given Zach some pretty good confidence, because it seems like the second team offense is playing pretty well. And Zach, for all the like little bits that I've watched of him through camp and just the 2 preseason games, it looks like he's a new type of quarterback, and it still is vanilla defenses. We're not seeing like, you know, the crazy types of defenses and looks that he would be getting in a normal game. But I do think that there is something to Aaron Rodgers and what he could potentially bring to the Jets beyond just the quarterback position, and him possibly being a coach after all this is said and done under his best buddy, Nathaniel Hackett, I think is a nice transition for him. He can be his mogul stage in New York. He can go out on the town. He can do all the plays and all the things like that. He'd be the life of the town. So Matt, your thoughts, if Rodgers can get one ring as a coach with the Jets, does he beat Broadway Joe?
Well, that would put him to 2. So then I would say yes. A player and a coach, yeah, that still counts as 2. I'd say absolutely. I think that's what it would take. I think if they were to tie, right, like if each came away with 1, I think Namath still has the edge.
Greenby, what about you? You think if Rodgers gets 1 as a player and then 1 as a coach for the Jets, does he surpass Namath at that point?
Here, I'll answer that with a question. Why do we have to try to take away the one legitimate star that we have if we get a new star?
Well, you're not taking him away, but if you're building your Mount Rushmore and you're saying, all right, who's the best Jet of all time? Is it even one of those 2 guys? Like maybe the argument is like a non-Super Bowl winning player at that point. Maybe that's part of the conversation.
Yeah, like Kyle Clifton, Mo Lewis, those guys. I don't know. I don't think his star can be tainted at this point. I don't think it can be. Now, look, if Rodgers wins a couple Super Bowls, coaches up Zach Wilson, and he ends up winning the Super Bowl, I mean, yeah, there's going to be lots of fun stuff to talk about, and maybe he's bigger than Namath. But Namath is the dude, man. He hasn't done anything in 40-something years or whatever it might be, 50 years, and he's still Joe. We're still talking about him. So I think he's solid right where he is. I don't know.
I feel like it's 2 separate eras of football too. Like you can have, like I feel like when you're looking at things over a large span of time, and maybe it's different, but like almost like, you know, say George Washington. George Washington was our first president. Everyone looks at him like, wow, that was, you know, our first guy, but maybe he's not deemed as like the best, but he's always going to be the guy that was our first one, and he'll always be on the on the dollar bill for now, whatever. It's interesting. I think you don't have to take away anything from Namath in order to lift Rodgers up, and I think they're 2 separate things, and you can have that context. I think that's totally fine. But 2 rings, I'd be feeling pretty good.